Hello, welcome back to another fabulous episode of the Essence of Tea podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Jie, the owner and founder of Sipping Streams Tea Company. I'm so happy for you to join me today on this wonderful episode on holiday inspirations. Now, we've had a pretty rough year with 2020, and it's been hard for a lot of us, harder for some than others. And for the end of the year, and wishing and hoping for this year to be over and so that we can move on with our lives and wanting to go back to normalcy, there is a bit of encouragement and light at the end of the year as we reflect on gratitude and thankfulness and just remembering what we have been through and who we have been through all of this with. And I am so thankful for all of you joining me today here right now on this live episode of the Essence of Tea podcast. So if you're watching today, I would love for you to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what kind of cup of tea you're having today as we are celebrating the holidays. And I thought it was really funny this year because it has been a pretty rough year. When I started my tea company in 2007, that was about the time of the first recession. And so our company has so far survived almost 14 years. January 20th will be our 14-year anniversary of Sipping Streams Tea Company. And it has definitely always been a growing and learning process here at Sipping Streams. But I am so thankful for all of you joining me. Hello, Sharon. Thank you so much for watching us from wherever you are down in warmer weather than Fairbanks, Alaska right now. So holiday inspirations are a great way to not just be inspired to have holiday cheer, to have cookies and treats and wonderful memories and songs, but to also remember what matters most. And that is what launches us to the new year, into the new year. It's not resolutions and promises to ourselves. It is not grinding through it. Things happen to us all the time that we cannot control. What we can control is how we react to the events that happen to us in our lives. If you've listened to my book or read my book, The Essence of Tea, The Transformational Journey of a Tea Connoisseur, one of my chapters is all about community and gratitude and how that is so important in transforming who we are from a holistic perspective. Recently, I was listening to a friend's podcast that just started, and it's called 2% Better. And I thought it was so fascinating because they are also athletic trainers too, and that's what I used to do. One of them was my former classmate from Boise State University. And so he's on this podcast, Tyler Smith is, as a practicing certified athletic trainer still. And that's what I used to do. And I thought it was such an inspiring podcast because it goes beyond just fitness and nutrition, even though that's what they specialize in. But thinking about how we can transform ourselves 2% every day. If you transformed your life or improved 2% every day, even the way that you think and your mindset is, in 50 days, you will have 100% transformed and improving your life. So think about it that way. But let me get started on some holiday inspiration tea. Today, I had some choices and I was like, man, what am I going to drink today? Some things that I'm very thankful for in 2020 is some of our amazing tea guests we've had, part of the university program that we have, which is a tea education program. So we have some teas here from Just Tea, and I was like, should I have the African chai? Should I have some purple tea? And I was thinking to myself, well, I remember I taught all of my tea students in the university program how to make their own masala chai, but possibly without caffeine. So chai means tea and masala means mixed spices. So I'm actually going to use some of this rooibos masala that we had made. Similar spices in masala chai. Remember, masala means mixed spices in Hindi and chai means tea. But we actually have rooibos in here, which is a nice caffeine-free option. And I thought, I have been drinking matcha all day long, just trying to get my energy up, just trying to boost my immune system, filling myself with chlorophyll and vitamin K and lots of green leafy potency, getting myself some protein with my milk in there. And for those of you who don't need caffeine, this is a great option of choosing some of those similar spices that you would get in a chai, but it could be possibly caffeine free, like we had taught our university members this year. So some things that I'm very, very, very thankful for is my university program and my university students. Some of you watching today. Hello, Christina. Thank you so much. Sharon's having tropical green tea in Texas. Christine's watching from North Pole. So if you're watching right now, say hello in the chat. And the university program has given me the opportunity to really hone in onto my tea knowledge, my skills, my culinary skills. And some of the things that I've taught them this year is how to blend with different spices, how to make their own tea blends, and how to create the perfect functional tea, in air quotes, because it could be herbal or it could be actually from the tea plant itself, for their own personal reasons, their own functionality for themselves. And so I can already smell that this is absolutely amazing. So some things I've been reflecting on have been just rushing at me in a million directions. Things that we've gone through were just so pivotal in this year of how we changed our business. But more importantly, the reason why we changed so much was to help support each other and all the people out there in the tea community wanting to help with improving health and wellness. And with so many people being isolated, so many changes, so many stresses that people weren't used to, mental health was a huge thing, besides boosting our immune systems and preparing ourselves for a pandemic. It wasn't just that. It was the support system. It was the community. It was the mindset. It was the mental health. All of those things that holistically transform us from the inside out and how we affect our community, whether it's here virtually, whether it's on radio waves, whether it's in person and your home pod that you're with, all of those things affect you deeply. And this year, like no other, it was very, very prevalent. The 5 people you surround yourself with the most are definitely who you are influenced. Hey, thank you so much for watching us on Instagram. And so I want to thank our tea community out there watching us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, listening to our podcast, writing us amazing ratings and reviews. Oh my goodness, there was this amazing letter that came in the other day too, and I was going to read it, but I don't know where it is right now. And I'm just very, very thankful for the tea community in giving me this opportunity to allow me to pivot so that in turn, it actually feeds me and my soul and who I am and grows me as an individual. So I am so thankful for all of you listening right now. I am thankful that we were able to pivot and start a podcast and do exactly what my passion is, which is educating people about tea, bringing on amazing tea growing guests, tea farmers, tea experts, experts in health, nutrition, and wellness, and just helping me fine-tune our mission here at Sipping Streams Tea Company, which is helping people to grow to know who they are and improving their mind, body, and spirit. And that has been so prevalent, because when at the core, Sipping Streams is about serving people and helping each other, then the rest will come. And this is how we have survived 2020. When I was reflecting on what 2021 was possibly going to bring and how things were going to normalize, I started to think, I don't need to worry about any of those things. If I focus on what and why we started the company 14 years ago, it remains the same. It is about the people and changing people's lives. Whether you are a busy CEO now working from home, homeschooling your kids, or whether you are a stay-at-home mom who is still homeschooling your kids because you always have and have been dealing with autoimmune diseases and pain control, you are who we love and serve in our pod. It is about the people. Tea is just a beverage. Chamomile is just an herb. But how we use that to transform other people's lives in community, in slowing down and having reflection of what we're doing, how we're making our tea, how we're blending it, the observations of even being a tea connoisseur and learning how to judge the quality of your tea, that slows you down, slows down your heart rate. It helps you compartmentalize in your mind what you're feeling emotionally. It brings memories of other experiences in your past, happy ones and maybe not so happy ones. And it allows us to heal and intertwine and just think of who we are as a person. This time of year, it also is hard for a lot of people who might suffer from depression. Thank goodness we just had winter solstice. Now in Fairbanks, Alaska, we are gaining sunlight, right? And we're coming out of the dark days. And I always look forward to either the summer solstice or the winter solstice here in Alaska, because it's a mile marker of wonderful possible changes to come. There are seasons for everything in our lives. And we have to remember the positive things. Some of the amazing positive things for Sipping Streams Tea Company and I this year is that we survived. We didn't have to cut anyone's hours. All of our employees are fully employed and have a stable income. We were able to start implementing mental health days for our full-time staff, where they get a day of rest. And every month. And then we also started a podcast. We were able to share our tea with more people by being able to launch our teas now on Amazon Prime. So 8 of our flavors are available for anyone who has, buys on Amazon, even though we're a small business, and handcraft all of our tea blends here in Alaska. We were able to expand our machinery and equipment. So our very small team of, Javion, Joshua, me, Brian, like the 4 of us, 5, sometimes 5 people, to manufacture all the hundreds of canisters and containers of tea. It's amazing how much this small team can do for the rest of the world. Because we realize that when we create a tea, it's not just, getting a paycheck. It's somebody's going to drink that tea, share that tea, have a moment of peace and quiet, bring some healing and pain relief for a possible herbal that they're consuming, bring joy and happiness. We know that every possible cup of tea that could be prepared from every serving that we blend and package, it affects people's lives around the world. And that's always been the mission of Sipping Streams Tea Company, is to help people to transform their lives. So, holiday inspirations would be thankfulness and gratitude for our families, our friends, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whatever, that you really surround yourselves with. We hope that Sipping Streams is a support system for you today tomorrow for your friends and family in a positive way, because I have lived many, many of those dark years of my own life with struggling with mental health issues and depression. I've been to a lot of counseling with that. And so I totally get it. And I still get back in those ruts every now and then. But I think about the purpose and mission of my life is to serve others, to love others, and to be a support for others. When I think about gratitude and servanthood, it actually brings me joy. And so when we think of holiday inspirations, reflect on how far you've come and what are your blessings that you can count on now. Like, thank goodness there's a vaccine that's coming out, right? Thank goodness for masks. Thank goodness for people who are following and complying and being respectful, right? We've had a lot of people who've lost a lot of family members this year. And so there is a lot of gratitude and thankfulness that is going to help us launch into the next year. But remember, if you don't take that time, even one day off, which, I'm thinking of even working through Christmas because we're not going anywhere. We were talking about that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we're going to do nothing on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But I'm always planning and thinking, that's just my personality. And that causes this line of stress up here that we have normalized, this anxiety and stress level. So when we take a break, just a day off, whatever it's going to be, because we've worked up here so long and this is normal to us, it's going to help boost us into the next step and phase in life. So I hope you join me in taking some time for yourself to reflect, to sit and be in peace, just to be as a person, not a mom, not a wife, not a teacher on break, not, an essential care worker. You are a human being, a living entity with feelings and emotions. And even though you choose not to acknowledge them because you're in survival mode, remember, you are still just one person who has a ripple effect to the rest of the world. And you do need to take care of yourself at some points in time before you implode on yourself. I only know that because myself. So as dangerous and scary as it sounds, I don't want to get to that point. And I don't want you to get to that point. A lot of us have lost loved ones, like I said. My grandmother, she passed of COVID. Other employees of ours have lost family members too due to COVID. And so we hope that we are a wonderful support system for you into the future, and not just educating you about tea and consuming tea or anything like that, but beyond that, it's this holistic way of living and thinking to also remember the community and the mindset and the gratitude that is important in the end. Because in the end, there is nothing but love that is left. And that is all we can truly hang on to. Everything else is just an entity. Like I do need to stay hydrated. It's dry time of year. I am very, very thankful for rooibos, especially for sore throats and fighting colds. I love the holiday seasons of the spices. And believe me, I'm not always great at eating healthy. Okay? Like I eat junk food all the time, but I go through these waves of listening to myself and not listening to myself. So please don't think that you have not been living in a healthy way and so, forget about it. That's not true. That's why I thought it was very interesting recently. I was listening to my friend's podcast, 2% Better, because it's all about taking small incremental improvements in your life to make it a habit, to transform your own personal culture. And that's where true being and effectiveness to the rest of the world is going to come from, is you becoming better and transforming because you care and love yourself and the community around you. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode nearing the end of the year on holiday inspirations on how to reflect and to be thankful into moving into a new phase in life. And we wish you wonderful health, safety, and true joy and happiness. And I'm so glad that you've been with us through all of our wonderful changes and growth, even though it's been so hard for all of us this year. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. I can't wait to see you again for our next episode. Remember to take some time for yourself. Make yourself a cup of tea and just sit. Just sit and do nothing but enjoy the moment of being and being still. And we'll see you again next time. Happy holidays, everyone.